I don't know if you're keeping up with the current affairs in Nepal. I'm going to talk about the MCC, the Millennium Challenge Corporation, which is a grant program as a continuation of the strong partnership between the United States and Nepal, and to reduce poverty through its economic growth, given that we've also had the earthquake, which was a big disaster, and now the pandemic.
Right.
And MCC has been like a subject of debate, or one would say a hot topic in Nepal. As a former US ambassador, what are your views on this?
You know, I know it's been a subject of great debate, and this is the subject, again, the people of Nepal, the leaders in Nepal, have to make their choice about whether they believe that this is the best path for Nepal or not. And I'm not going to insert myself into that debate. I have no desire to get involved in politics these days. So I will only say, though, that I was very proud when I saw what the United States was prepared to do in terms of the MCC Compact. We wanted, and we want, to be a good partner. We want to help alleviate poverty. We want to help build a stronger future for Nepal. We have offered a program that I believe is a strong program and that makes sense. And I know that it's gotten caught up in a lot of politics and a lot of debate, and I leave it to that it's a choice for Nepalis to make. And ultimately, they will choose what they choose.
But if it's for the betterment of the country?
It's not for me to determine what is for the betterment of the country. That's, it's for the people of Nepal to decide later whether their leaders made a wise choice or not. I can't speak to it more than that, I guess. There's a lot of different views, and I trust my colleague, Ambassador Berry, who is in Nepal now, and our leaders in Washington, and in their conversations with their counterparts in Nepal. That's a conversation for government to government, and I don't want to further complicate discussions by saying things that when I'm not involved in the process.
Thank you for answering it so diplomatically. Why does Nepal matter to the US, and what are its interests in the country, if any?
Every country matters to the United States. I could say every country has a vote in the United Nations, and they're all counted equal, and that's true. But we don't engage. We don't engage to say, oh, what can we get out of Nepal, or what can Nepal give us, or what is our strategic interest here? Americans have traditionally been pretty straightforward folks. Nepal isn't going to make or break the future of the United States, and it's not going to be the determinant of U.S. foreign policy going forward. But does that mean we don't care? Absolutely not. We care about the people of the nation. We care about building partnerships. We want a global community in which all nations are strong and they're prosperous, and where people's rights are respected, and where we address global problems together as part of a global community. And countries can't do that if they're mired in poverty. They can't do that if people aren't receiving good educations, if they aren't receiving health care. We want to create a world, we want to create the kind of world that we want our grandkids to grow up into. And that means that we engage everybody. And we try to find a path to partnership that is mutually respectful, and where we listen to each other, and we try to find things that work for all of us. And because we are a big nation, and because we are a nation that has enjoyed many blessings, we are able at times to offer our hand in partnership, as we are in the MCC Compact, for example. And that's what we want. We want countries to be successful. We want Nepal to be successful. We want it to be prosperous and democratic, and we want people to live lives that are meaningful and where they are part of their nation's future. That's what we look for.
And so this debate is like, where do we go? how do we take it?
Yeah, in every country, finding a way to reach this level of partnership and engagement in these global issues and all the rest. It's different in every country because every country's circumstances are different. Every country views the U.S. differently. And so it's always a question of, it's about engagement. It's about engaging the world. That's become the theme of my life. It's about choosing how we're going to engage with a partner and how we build that future.
Yeah. And I think when it comes to any like big change, let's like a big revolution or big change, it's always hard to accept, even though it's for positive or whatever constructive reasons.
Sure.
It takes time, yeah. Some observers comment that the US sees Nepal through the eyes of India and does not have any independent Nepal policy on crucial issues. What is your observation on this subject?
Well, I would just say that we, for example, probably would not be offering, a significant MCC package such as we did if we didn't think about Nepal independently. But more to the point, when I was an ambassador, when I went out as an ambassador, people said the same thing to me. And I told them quite simply that that was nonsense. We did not see Nepal through India's eyes. We saw Nepal through our own eyes. We saw Nepal as a sovereign nation with whom we sought to build a partnership that mattered. People, again, have sometimes overestimate the role that these geopolitical configurations play in how we approach some of these things. Certainly no one's, where you're always aware that there's a bigger world, that we all fit within this bigger global dynamic. But as an ambassador to Nepal, I was concerned about Nepal. I didn't care what India thought or what China thought. I cared about our partnership with Nepal. When we worked at disaster risk reduction, we weren't worried about what is India going to say or what is China going to say. We worried about saving lives in Nepal. When we worked with farmers, in the Terai, to try to help them develop new crops, higher crops that would generate greater incomes for their families. When we helped them to reach a point where a family could suddenly say, you know what, with this approach, I don't have to go to India and work for 6 months or 9 months in the year. I can stay here and work the land with my wife and with my children, and we can build a future here. We were thinking about Nepal and only about Nepal. I don't know why people found it so hard sometimes to believe that we really did care about the partnership with Nepal, independent of India and China.
I think being a small country and with not that much natural resource or the resources that the other countries are fortunate to have. Mm-hmm. So Nepal does have some limitations or substantial limitations. So that's why we say that we are seen through the lenses of India versus having our own set of opportunities.
I think there are a lot of reasons people may see it that way. And I can't change how they see it. But I can speak to the way that I saw it and the way that my government saw it, at least when I was ambassador. I absolutely believe it's still true today, but I'm not in the government, so I won't speak for them. But I do know that during my time there, we cared about Nepal. We acted based on what we thought was important in terms of our relationship with Nepal and with the people of Nepal. And it wasn't about India. It wasn't about China. It was about Nepal.